Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be sharing my top feminine hygiene tips to make sure your vagina smells delicious. My first tip is to wear breathable underwear, and the best material to look for when you're shopping for underwear is cotton, because cotton allows your vagina to breathe and not to get stuffy. Whenever we wear underwear made from synthetic materials that can't breathe and there's no airflow, when we have a dark and humid constricted area, that is a prime place for fungus or yeast to grow. And if we get a mild yeast infection, that is going to translate in a bit of a foul smelling odor. So wearing breathable underwear is my first tip, or even better, not wearing any underwear at all. I personally try to go without underwear as much as possible because I really believe that it is so healthy for our vagina to breathe, to be in contact with fresh air, and not to be constricted in any way. And the easiest place to start with that is sleeping naked without underwear, because that's something which is accessible to most women. So when you go to bed, take off your underwear and let your yoni breathe. My second tip is every time you take a shower, with some gentle organic soap, just wash the outside part of your vulva, but never, ever, ever, ever wash the inside of your vagina. Our vagina is a self-cleansing organ. Every time you feel that discharge coming out, or you look in your underwear and there's a little bit of that white discharge, that is your glands secreting lubrication throughout your vaginal canal to make sure everything is as clean as possible. So we do not need to do any extra washing inside of our vagina because our body already takes care of that. And when we use douches or internal soaps, we can actually completely throw off the pH of our vagina, because usually not only does that kill the bad bacteria, it also kills off the good bacteria, making it more prone to infections. My third tip is one which may be a little bit new to you, but I recommend that you rinse your intimate area with water every time after you use the restroom. And I personally live on a tropical island in Thailand, and in Asia this is a very normal practice. So next to each toilet in Asia there is what we call a bum gun or a toilet gun. So instead of just using toilet paper, basically just spray your intimate area to fully wash off any residue from your bathroom run. And this makes perfect sense, because if you think about it, let's say an animal peed or pooed on your arm, would you feel comfortable just wiping it off with a piece of paper? No, you would want to rinse that off thoroughly. And somehow, in the West, it's become such a norm that after using the toilet, just using some paper is enough. But in my opinion, that's really not that clean. It's much better to rinse yourself with some water and pat dry to make sure that everything really is clean down there. So even if you don't have a bum gun, by the way, it's not that expensive to install one, is what I've heard. I have some friends who used to live here who moved to the West who could not imagine going back to a life without a bum gun, and they installed one in their house. But if that's a little bit too far-fetched, you can simply make sure your hands are clean, take some water from the tap, and just rinse off and then pat dry. You do want to make sure that you're patting yourself dry, especially if you're wearing underwear. If you're not wearing underwear, you may be able to just let it air dry, but you don't want to trap moisture into your underwear, because again, that is more prone to cause a yeast infection. So pat dry and then you are good to go. My next tip is around diet, because our body smell, so the way our sweat smells and also the way our vagina smells, is largely impacted by what we ingest through our diet. So if we have a very unhealthy diet with a lot of junk food, a lot of coffee, smoking tobacco, a lot of sugar, all of these different things will translate into a not delicious smell. So the more fresh and clean foods you're eating, the more clean and fresh your vagina is going to smell. So a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits, a lot of water. That brings me to my next tip, which is about water. Water really helps us eliminate toxins from our body. And my personal favorite self-care practice that I do every single morning. It's one of these only practices that I religiously do every day, and I do not skip it, is to first thing in the morning, take a big glass of water and squeeze 1 lime or 1 lemon inside of it and drink it on an empty stomach. Because lemon water and lime water is a really, really great way to alkaline your body and also to flush out any toxins, and it helps with your skin, it helps with your vaginal smell, it helps with your overall complexion. It is a great way to start your day. And besides starting your day with lemon water, making sure you're drinking plenty of high quality water throughout the day to make sure that you are well hydrated. And it actually also helps your glands in your vagina produce more secretion when you're well hydrated, which helps in the cleansing mechanism of your yoni. And you may have heard this kind of, it's kind of a myth because I don't think there's any science to back that up yet, but a lot of women swear by eating pineapple, either drinking pineapple juice or eating fresh pineapple in order to taste and smell better down there. I'm actually planning to do a little experiment with my partner to see if he can tell a difference. Although I have to say that part of me was always a bit skeptical when I heard that, simply because eating a lot of fruits or ingesting a lot of fruit juice makes you ingest a lot of sugars, fructose, which if you already have a little bit of a yeast infection will feed the yeast and make it worse and make you smell worse. So I could see that if you are really healthy and really balanced and you just have like a little bit of extra pineapple in the morning, that could be good. But if you're going like a whole day just eating a ton of pineapple, that may just feed the yeast. So that is my opinion on it, but I'm gonna try it out. And another one of my tips, which may be a little bit more unconventional, is that I really believe that being sexually active, it doesn't matter if that's with another partner or with ourselves, is really important for our overall vaginal health. Because I, kind of imagine it like this cave in our body or this attic in our body. And if we never really go there or engage with that part of our body, it's going to start to accumulate a lot of dust and cobwebs and mold. And it's just not going to be a very pleasant place, and it's not going to smell great. So making sure that you're self-pleasuring, that you're taking the time to go inside of your vagina, to massage the walls, to pleasure all the different erogenous zones, whether that is with your fingers, with a wand or a dildo, or with a partner, just making sure that this part of your body is being stimulated and is being given proper attention and care is also going to translate into better smelling vagina, because there's not going to be any stagnant energy down there. And another beautiful way to do that is through a yoni egg practice. I have a free online course on my website where I teach how to use a yoni egg, and I'll link that down below. So that is another great way if you don't have a partner but still want to somehow attend to this part of your body. A yoni egg practice is a great tool for that. And lastly, I also want to talk about probiotics, because probiotics are a woman's best friend when it comes to vaginal health. And you can take probiotics as supplements, or you can also take it through your diet. So yogurt, for example, is a great source of probiotics. So if you have yogurt every morning or every evening before going to bed, just to ensure that you are flushing your body with good bacteria to balance out the bad bacteria, that is also a great self-care practice to make sure that the pH in your vagina stays balanced and healthy, which in turn leads to nice smell full of pheromones. And these are my tips. With that, I want to say that these are like the maintenance tips. These are the things you do in your day-to-day life just to make sure that your vagina is as healthy as possible. But if you have a severe infection, whether that's a yeast infection, a bacterial infection, or an STI, or there's something really itchy or very foul smelling, you want to make sure to go get that checked out. But if you just have like a little bit of an off smell, which is not an indication of any kind of severe underlying issue, and you just want to make it smell a little bit better, then these tips are going to be your best friend. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. And I would also love to hear in the comments below if you have any other tips for vaginal health and feminine hygiene. And if you have any questions about any of the ones I shared, you can comment down below and I'll try my best to answer as many as possible. Mwah.